Hi everyone, Taylor here from Retail Empire. Welcome to another session about moms and pop stores. Today we're going to talk about pricing and we're gonna go through all the process, meaning from the step where you're literally closing a price of your product with your manufacturer. That's your manufacturing cost. Then we go through the process of bringing the product into the USA, into the warehouse, and then how much is going to be the wholesale price and the retail price, and what your buyers are going to expect. So thank you for being with me today here. Opening sign, and we're starting right away. Okay, here we go. Another session of the secrets that you will not hear anywhere. Look at the description. You can find all our social media. Smash the button, the like button if you can. Share it with friends, with whomever you can. It really helps us and helps me to get some more traffic here. And if you want to see our free SOP guide, just see in the comments there's a link, to download the SOP. SOP means Standard Operation Procedure. This is where you're going to see, once you enter that link, you'll be able to download a book, a mini book, a small book that is literally containing every step by step that we're using in order to sell our products to retail chain stores, and it's also for moms and pop stores. Also, there is a mini course that I created with Aaron Harbage from Canada and with Norm Farrar. I guess you heard the name. If it sounds familiar, that's because Norm is running Lunch with Norm podcast, which is very, very popular. And he's a great influencer and a great guy for himself. We three of us created this mini course about every step and everything you need to know about retail. Now, if you download this in the next couple of days, you can drop me an email. If you purchase that course in the next couple of days, you're going to be able to drop us an email. The email is in the description below. And once you do so, saying that I bought it, then we're going to send you 100 contacts of retail buyers in the USA. I don't know if there's something better than that. Anyway, let's dive right into the pricing issue. So, pricing is quite challenging, but it's, from the other hand, could be and should be very simple. Now, here is how it works. At the first step, you go to your manufacturer. If it's in China, in India, in Mexico, wherever you are producing. Obviously, if it's in Colombia, you're going to have some issues right now with the tariff because of the Trump decision just taking a couple of hours ago, I think, where there was an issue between the States and Colombia. I'm not going into politics or anything like that. I'm just saying that if you are producing in Colombia, you should be aware of that fact. I think there was 50% or something like that added to the tariff, all products coming from Colombia. If you're producing in China, obviously you have to be aware to the news, but right now, as far as I know, this is not happening yet, but it is planned to roll out somewhere in the next couple of weeks, meaning your product's cost will be higher than it is now because of the tax, okay, the import tax. So you have a product and you're producing it, let's say, for $8, okay? The $8 is either EXW, which is factory price in China, or it's FOB. If it's an FOB, it means free on board. That means that you are getting the price, which is already including all the taxes and the export license charges in China. And if it's EX factory or EXW, it's the same thing. That means that this price should be a bit lower than the FOB because it's not including all the export process charges. What it means is that the EXW price is priced in the factory's door. It's ready, it's out there in the factory door, but then you need to calculate that there's either a truck or whatever coming coming to pick it up and then sending it to the port. And in the port, in the Chinese port, just like any other port, there are more charges, and the charges are gonna be jumping the price from EXW to FOB. So let's say that FOB is $8. From that point, you have to ship them out to the States. You could either ship them by air or by sea. If it's by air, obviously it's gonna be higher cost because air costs more than sea, right? I know there's a lot of information rolling out recently about charges of air, since there's a war in the Middle East. There's a lot of political and ethnical issues affecting that, but basically air charges is somewhere between $5 to $10 per kg. Okay, I'm saying kg and not pound because this is the term that most of the Chinese forwarders or the Middle East forwarders are using. You can easily translate that to pounds or LBS. So then you have, let's say, another $0.50. Why $0.50? Because if you're shipping out 3,000 pieces, which is very normal, from China to the States, so from port to port, you're gonna pay a couple of thousands for that 3,000 pieces. It obviously depends on the weight, on the dimension, and on the dimensional weight. But dimensional weight is a term referring in most cases to the air freight. Because think about the situation where a forwarder needs to ship something by air, and let's say you're giving them balloons that are full with air. Okay, that means that there's not going to be a lot of weight, but the dimension is going to be bigger. For that reason, there's a term called dimensional weight, where forwarders are calculating the so-called weight by the dimension. There's a form how to do it. We're not going to go into that, but if you're not aware of that, you can read about it everywhere, Google or wherever. Next, you're going to have it. So now it's 8.5 because it was $8 in China, and now it costs you another $0.50 to bring it to the States. So it's 8.5. Then you have some small transportation from US port into the warehouse. Let's say it's LA port and your warehouse is in LA. It's not a big deal. It should be a couple of cents on top of what you already paid, because let's say a truck costs a couple of hundreds of dollars. If you divide it by 3,000 pieces that you're bringing, that's going to end up with 10, 20, 30 cents at the max in our example. Okay, it depends what you're bringing. If you're bringing furnitures, it's a complete different story. If you're bringing very small items like key holders, then again, it's a different story. But I'm taking the average product size, which is normally something like this from previous video I did on, I think it was Instagram or TikTok, and dead jokes. It's the best packaging I've ever seen recently. Anyway, so it's 8.5, 8.7, and then you have warehouse charges. You're gonna have storage fee. You're gonna have pick and pack in case you ship them in a different form per any retailer or store request. Eventually, this is gonna end up paying another, let's say $0.50. I'm taking the high estimation. Okay, $0.50 is a lot, but let's say $0.50. So on top of what we had so far, we're getting closer to 9.5. Let's say, just for the easiness of the things here, let's say it's $10. Now you want to look at the market and think, what's going to be your MSRP? What's going to be your manufacturer's suggested retail price? If to term it in an easy way, that's the retail price. That's the price on shelf. That's even the price, also the price on Amazon listing. It's the price that you're selling your product for in the final sale to the consumer. Okay, the final person who's purchasing the product. So, to my opinion, normally you would want to be somewhere around 4 times referring to your cost. So if your cost is $10, you're gonna want to be at $40. And the reason is because if it's $40 retail, you could easily sell it for $20 wholesale price. Now here we're jumping into the wholesale and retail game. You have to keep in mind, and it's a complete different story when it comes to giants like Costco and Target and others versus what we're talking about today, which is the moms and pop stores. With moms and pop stores, things are quite easy. All you need to do is cut the MSRP by 50%, and there you have the wholesale price. Easy, right? Now, keep in mind that my comment about doing 4 times on the cost is, it's a topic. Okay? If you would look in reality, you will have to consider also your competition price. If your competitors are selling the very same product, even with better features or something like that, for 35, then you're going to have an issue selling it for 40 because it's not going to be selling good, right? So then you want to say, oh, you know what? I can sell it for 32. And then the wholesale price would be half, which is 16. And I still make $6 a piece. Now $6 a piece by 3,000 pieces is $18,000. It's not bad. You still have room to negotiate in case you need to. But keep in mind that those moms and pop stores are not buying huge quantities. They usually buy 400 or 500 units a time at the maximum. That means that you're going to break it into pieces of 100 pieces here, 200 there, and 300 there. Okay, that's going to be the vibe of your sales with moms and pop stores. Eventually, if you have 10, 15, 20 moms and pop stores working with you, you're going to be easily moving those 3, 5, 6, 7,000 pieces. But you have to get to that point. And to get to that point, you need to listen to previous sessions that I did about how to find those moms and pop stores, how to pitch your product, how to create a proper brief. Now you're going to have the pricing today as well. And the most important, not only finding the moms and pop stores names, but also their email. Okay, we spoke about it in previous session. You can go to how to find buyers session. That was more or less the title of that video. Now let me share with you very quickly that in websites like this, and this one is called, where's my glasses? I need them. intelligentprices.com. Okay, I was just looking for price calculator, wholesale, MSRP, margin. That's what I was looking for. There's a lot of websites showing you different tools. I find this one very helpful. And why is that? If I put a manufacturer selling price, what am I buying from the manufacturer? Their selling price is $10. I'm gonna get to the next step, which is defining what's the margin. If I want to do 50% means that I'm going to do $5 on each piece, right? And I need to remember the retailer margin. The retailer margin is going to be 50% as well. Okay. When we talk about margin, you have to keep in mind there are 2 different terms. There's margin and there's markup. So margin is looking at the MSRP, the retail price, asking what is the percentage from that retail price that I want to take to my pocket. This is margin in a simple description. While markup is saying, okay, what's the wholesale price? Is it 20? Okay, from 20, how much percentage am I taking on top of it that are going to my pocket? If it's 50% from 20, that's going to be $10 profit. Okay, it's 2 different things, just looking from the bottom and the top, margin and markup. In this case, we're looking at margin. So wholesale, wholesaler, which is you are the wholesaler, you are the seller, the wholesaler. Margin percent is 50. Let's say the retailer margin is 50% as well. There was a VAT here to enter. I don't really need to enter anything, but just for the example, let's put 8 in here. When I click on calculate, I'm getting MSRP just like I was expecting, $40. Okay, $40 means you're gonna sell it for 20 or a bit less. Now, if they want to make 100%, it says that it's invalid, and it makes sense. So let's say they want to make 60%. Then if they need to make 60% and you need to make 50%, that's going to be $50 MSRP. This is the retail price. Okay, I'm ignoring the price with VAT right now. I'll talk about it in a second. So here's the thing. Now it's a game of what you're gonna be looking at on your side as a margin. This is the only factor you need to look at. How much can you be flexible? But I do not suggest you to go too low just because you want to hit the market. When you want to hit the market and go low, you do it probably for quantities. Or I would say, I would define it, you do it only for quantities, because quantities makes it as a more, there's more items to multiple. When I say quantities, I'm talking about tens of thousands of pieces. If TJ Maxx wants to order with you, this is not Moms and Pop Store, but just explaining. If TJ Maxx wants to order from you 5, 6, 700 units, you're going to give them the same price that you're going to give them later on for 20, 30, 50, 10,000 pieces. Why? Because that's how it works with them. This is a complete different story. You can learn about it in our mini course. It's around $100 and a bit. I think $109. It's not a big money for a course. Plus you're getting, again, 100 email contacts of actual buyers if you take that course. It's all in the description. But getting back to our topic today, you want to look at two factors: your margin or markup and the competition. The competition is playing a big role here, because you have to look at the competition and think, can I sell at the same price, or do I want to sell lower? Or, you know what, my products are better, I have a patent on them, I have absolutely great designs that nobody has, I'm going to sell it higher than them, but it's going to be worth it. Okay, these are the terms. And plus, another small tip, you can look at those type of calculators. In our case, what I was using, again, intelligentprices.com. If you want to use this calculator, but there are tons of other calculators. By the way, in our inner circle that I'm gonna be launching very soon, there's gonna be a retail barrier, which is gonna be a closed community for small money every month, where you're gonna get all these tools from me for free, along with other things that we're gonna provide. We're gonna provide every week tons of different email contacts of buyers, actual buyers that we work with, that I work with, and we're gonna share tons of information that I'm not sharing on YouTube, but that's a different story. Hopefully I will let you all know about it next week. By then, use what I just showed here. If I would know everything that I spoke about here today back in 2017, things would be so much easier for me, because I was looking at emails I got from moms and pop stores, and I didn't even know how to price them properly. I was thinking so extreme about pricing. From one hand, I was trying to get my foot in the store, and I was giving them ridiculous prices, which later on turned to be a losing price. And then when I got to that point, I thought, okay, we need to change that. So I started raising prices like crazy. And then I was overpriced and nobody wanted to buy them because they were not having enough margin. That's why I'm sharing with you all this information today. Again, if you go back to this academy, you're going to see everything you need. How to find those buyers, how to find suitable moms and pop stores for your brand, how to pitch your brand, how to present it, how to respond to the buyer, how to approach the buyer. And now you also have the pricing. This is most of what you need for moms and pop stores, but there are still a couple of pieces that are missing here, and I'm going to talk about them in the next few sessions. One of them, which probably is going to come up in the next session, is going to be payment terms. Okay, so they're going to ask you about payment terms. What are your payment terms? And you will be sitting next to the email thinking like, my payment terms? Isn't it supposed to be your payment terms? So there's answer for everything. Stay tuned with that. Anyway, thanks for listening today. This was a quick session about pricing, and there's going to be more sessions about pricing, because this is a very, very important topic that I want to go again over and diving a little bit deeper into the pricing structure that will assure that your brand succeeded. Don't forget to smash the like button and check the comments. There's tons of information there. There's a free SOP file. It's like an ebook guide from our side, which is completely free. And there's also the mini course for chains, for big chains. If you want to dive into that, it's only $110, something like that. Plus you're getting 100 emails as a kickstart to start the business with retailers. Thank you for listening today. I'm Taylor Offer from Retail